Okay, so on that note, I want to begin with something very short. Two things, actually. The first thing, and it's more than plausible, for a matter of fact, that development has been confirmed by Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange himself. Doctor Strange will be returning in an upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe installment next year in 2024. As for the second thing, it's not plausible, or at least I would hope it isn't, for obvious reasons, and that's the possibility of Robert Downey Jr. re-emerging again as Iron Man. Okay, so I want to get the Doctor Strange stuff out of the way. Listen to this clip.
That's it. These are all out there. Just crisps and shoes and video games.
I think that's all that's left.
Yeah, that's all that's left. We're consuming consumerism.
Indeed. No, I was going to ask what you're going to do next, film-wise. What are we going to see you in the next?
Well, hopefully, strikes and everything else dependent. I'm playing Pete Seeger in a film about Bob Dylan called The Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold. And it's the story of Dylan's introduction to the folk scene and taking it to him going electric. And then after that, I think the only thing I know for certain is there are some Marvel capers in the making next year.
So, as you can hear, Doctor Strange, if the SAG union does not go on strike and when the writer's strike subsides, will be making an appearance in the MCU again. After all, the Multiverse of Madness ended on an abrupt cliffhanger, in my opinion. I kind of felt like it should have ended with him putting on his watch and just moving on of his life. But then they just, in the last moment, filmed a very awkward cliffhanger, and it kind of got me out of the movie. And it's ironic because the movie ended at a moment, but I was still like, yeah, that kind of ruined the ending of the third act for me. I digress to say that it would be right to assume that whenever Doctor Strange pops up again with that, what's her face, the new character who shows up in a post-credit scene, recruiting him to prevent an incursion, they both could pop up again. And whenever they do, it'd probably be following that post-credit scene up. Or maybe it'll be set before Multiverse of Madness, or, before or after No Way Home. I mean, who knows? How about the chances of Robert Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man? Okay, why is this even a speculation to begin with? Good question, Mukram. Thanks for asking. Well, it turns out that a guy who goes by the name Nawar Shora posted the following in his LinkedIn. And I'm going to quote him now. This is not me speaking. Well, I'm reading what he's saying. They are filming Captain America 4 around the White House and near my office. I was on a quick errand walk as I noticed all the lights and equipment and finally asked one of the security folks about it. He was so talkative and nice, and, enclosed in brackets, spoiler, Robert Downey Jr. was there last night and they were driving all sorts of supercars. Honey, where is my supercar? Oh my god, I just had a Incredibles callback for some reason while I was reading this LinkedIn. Anyway, continuing on reading. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, so continuing on reading. We had a good talk and some laughs. I kept hoping for some producer to walk up to me and demand, You have to play my next superhero. Okay. I don't know why we ended with that, but let's get to the meat of the matter. So, while this person, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Nawar Shora, may genuinely believe they witnessed the filming of Captain America 4 near their office. There are, unfortunately, several reasons to question the truthfulness of their claims. For one, there is a lack of verifiable evidence because there is no photographic or video evidence to substantiate Noir Shora's claim. In an age where everyone has a camera readily available on their smartphones, it's very unusual not to capture any visual evidence of what's presumably extraordinary event, right? I mean, for fuck's sake, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Iron Man. Like, the first character of the MCU who had a heroic death and is one of the best Marvel characters of all time in live action, is making a freaking return. Where's the paparazzi? If this is... I mean, they'd be tailing Robert Downey Jr. left and right. Now, someone can make the argument that they're just going to do a Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul situation when they were returning as Walter White and Jesse Pinkman in Better Call Saul, and just put them in a concealed van, and then they just spend a few nights shooting the scene, and then they're on their way. But there's still, yet again, another reason. If that lack of verifiable evidence reason does not hold true, there's still another reason that question the validity of Noir Shora's claims. Again, I really hope I pronounced her name correctly. Chances are I haven't, but anyway, the next reason is a reflection of the human condition. And it's basic psychology, right? I mean, we all do it. Perhaps this person, and this is gonna, and I know this is, I don't want to make any assumptions about that person's character, but you know, I wouldn't blame them if they did, fabricated their whole encounter with Robert Downey Jr. in order to garner fame. Now, the reason why I think that is because he's not just meeting Robert Downey Jr. in a mall or restaurant or on the street or, you know, I don't know, a bookshop. He's meeting him on a set that's only meant to be reserved for cast and crew. And let's face it, like, let's say that you saw Robert Downey Jr. on a movie set, a Marvel production, no less. It's going to attract 1 million eyeballs on your LinkedIn post. And, you know, maybe the eyes of your employer, who's going to give you $1 billion. Now, I'm just kidding, you know, but whatever. That still doesn't make it true. Because you know what's going to happen after Captain America 4 if Tony Stark does not pull up in a supercar near a White House? This person is going to get a lot of backlash for making it up. Because now people are going to be expecting a No Way Home situation, which, by the way, is not applicable to bringing back Iron Man because neither of the 3 Spider-Man were dead. So it made sense to bring them back for the multiverse. Well, technically, it would make sense to bring back Tony Stark for the multiverse, but it wouldn't make sense screenplay-wise. So, anyway, they're expecting Iron Man to show up. And then he doesn't show up. Well, we're going to have to take into account the potential backlash. It is way more plausible that Robert Downey Jr. pulled up on set, not to play Iron Man again, but rather to catch up with his former colleagues. Maybe Chris Evans, if he's going to be reprising his role as Captain America Sr., which would make the Captain America, which is now becoming a franchise, more consistent because every single Captain America movie had Chris Evans, whether as a protagonist or just, you know, a few scenes. Who am I kidding? Chris Evans was a protagonist in all of those movies. Yeah, but in the 4th one, he's likely not to be the protagonist, but it would still be consistent to add him on anyway. So, yeah, Maybe Robert Downey Jr. was just visiting his pal Chris Evans, who also hasn't showed up on a movie set for Marvel in quite a long time. Whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Downey Jr. will not be playing a character who died in Avengers Endgame. Iron Man is dead. Bury him accordingly. End of story. He's dead. He's gone. He happened. Now he doesn't exist. Okay? Enough. Let's stop this bullshit speculation. Anyway, if you have any insights about the notion of Doctor Strange, maybe something I don't know, and Iron Man returning, maybe and maybe not, I would give that idea a hard no, by the way. Let me know in the comments section below, or our Twitter inbox at Cinema Courtroom.